Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Sivir updated complete guide for the latest patch. Of course, as usual, before we jump into anything, don't forget to check out Sivir's basic guide that I'll put up in the cards above for her skills, leveling order tips and tricks, as well as some combos. So let's hop straight into talking about her items. So there are quite a number of different Sivir builds out there at the moment. Most of them do start with BT, some of them don't have IE, some of them do include Magnetic Blaster, and some of them even, I think, don't even have Navori. But basically, this is what I think personally is the best build. So we're going to start off with the Gluttonous Greed for the AD and the Omni Vamp, and doubling down with more physical Vamp on the Bloodthirster, as well as, of course, the AD crit, as well as the bonus stats when you're high on health. And then we're going to go into Navori, which is going to give us ability haste, crit, AD, and of course the cooldown reduction. Now, cooldown reduction, in my opinion, is really important for Sivir because most of her damage actually comes from her W to bounce to people in the backline. So I think getting a faster W cooldown is really important. Getting a faster Q cooldown is also really good, and of course a faster E cooldown really good for your own safety as well. So just amazing in general. So next up, I think IE is just really good because obviously, you get so much extra damage from your crits, and of course you just get really good stats as well, although there is a health penalty. But I will say that a lot of the top players, not that button, a lot of the top players do not actually go for IE at all. You can see that most of them actually go for Blaster instead, and I actually think that's fine. You could sub out the IE for Blaster instead, which I used to play that build in the previous patch. I think it was the best build previously. I still think it's a great build now, but I just have a personal preference for just having the IE here for more damage. And then of course we have more Reminder just for Armor Pen as well as Grievous Wounds. Last item is completely variable, so defensive options you have GA, you have your Sterex or your Maw into heavy AP teams. For offensive options you have Black Cleaver against enemies who have a lot of armor. You do have Bork for enemies who have a lot of health, which some games you do run into that kind of situation, or in general Runans is just really strong. Just because you can attack 3 people at the same time on top of your ricochets already, so just insane AoE damage. Now for the runes, there is some debate here as well, because as you can see from the top players, you have some people taking Conqueror and some people taking Lethal Tempo. Now I just think Lethal Tempo is the way to go. Obviously Press the Attack is not the best option in Sivir after Kraken Slayer is gone. So Lethal Tempo I think is the way to go, because obviously you are just a backline hyper carry who of course benefits a lot from attack speed, so Lethal Tempo just seems the most logical to me. Brutal, of course, because you're an ADC that out-attacks a lot. Giant Slayer are pretty standard, unless they're all squishy, coup de grace would be better, and of course Alacrity for the attack speed. Now over here for your Reminder rune, you can take Hex Splash for the additional mobility, or of course Bone Plating for additional safety in lane, and for late game as well, for against enemy combos. And for the spells, of course Flash and Ghost majority of the time is going to be better unless you have multiple enemies who want to jump on you, in which case Exhaust will be superior. But with all that said, let's move on to talking about the gameplay. Okie dokie, so jumping into the gameplay, of course, as usual, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions, queries, or remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Now, of course, be sure to reply or to drop a like on it. Okay, so Sivir. Main problem with Sivir is she is kind of horrible in the early game. Like, honestly, I think she is the worst laning ADC, maybe aside from Nyla. I mean, Nyla is, like, she's melee. And you can't even say Nyla's the most horrible, to be fair, because in certain lanes you can go all in. Like, so maybe Sivir might even be worse than Nyla or Neela, depending on how you want to say it. But yeah. I mean, Sivir just basically loses to everybody in lane, which is one of the main reasons why you used to take Kraken Slayer last time, because that's the only way you could fight anyone in lane. So now without Kraken Slayer and not taking PTA, you are pretty much going to get demolished every lane. It's kind of just, you have to accept it as fact if you're playing Sivir, that you are just going to get demolished in lane. And what this means is you just want to play safe, you just want to farm, you just want to get to mid to late game where you have team fights, and team fights is where Sivir shines, because Sivir does have that insane, of course, ricochets, which is going to completely destroy team fights and do insane amounts of DPS in team fights, but in lane, you're kind of bad. So you just want to basically just play safe. You're going to get shoved in a lot, or it's either you get shoved in a lot or you shove in a lot, because it depends on how you play the wave, right? So either you can let them shove in and you clear the wave with your wave clear, or you can be the one shoving them in, if they even allow it, because sometimes, of course, if you go to shove them in, they're going to harass you, and that's not what you want. So here we just get a little bit of damage onto Braum, but of course we can't really trade. You can see that you know, Jinx is basically is able to rocket me to like about half health. And of course, another weakness of Sivir is simply the fact that Sivir has really low range. So she has like lower range than the average ADC, not as low as Lucian and Samira, slightly higher than them, but lower range than pretty much all of the other ADCs. So yeah, she has pretty trash range. Most ADCs can just outrange her. Here you can see I'm just trying to get as much poke as possible while I'm getting the wave. My main goal here is to get the wave. Poking the enemy doesn't really benefit you a lot, because you can't really kill them anyway unless your jungler comes to gank. So the only time it really helps is if the jungler comes to gank, or if they're so overextended and they get locked down, which is of course a possibility, but at this point, like with my health and mana, there's no way I'm going in. I'm just waiting for them to push in the wave so that I can farm it up, basically. So after this wave, the next wave has already arrived, but you know, I'm gonna have to just back and maybe miss you know, maybe a minion or two, because you know, sticking around at this kind of resources is really risky, because you can't really fight back without your health and mana. So we're gonna back, we're gonna get our Gluttonous Greaves, and we're gonna make our way back to the lane. By the way guys, I didn't mention this in the build, but you could also go for Berserker Greaves if you want, because of course Berserker Greaves gives you attack speed, and you know, you don't really have a lot of attack speed, or actually you don't really have any attack speed items in your build at all. So Berserker Greaves work just fine as well, if you prefer that. Alright, so here the mistake is the enemy team did not back and they are just pushing. So here we actually sidestep the Brahma. We're actually going hardcore onto the Brahma. We get the kill onto him. Volley is here to disable the tower, and he gets the kill onto the Jinx, and we just kill the bot lane. Now this should not happen normally, but the only reason how this was able to happen is because the enemy team misplayed. What do I mean by that? Well, basically, we reset there, and they were able to shove in. So what they should have done is they should have reset as well to get items. But what they did instead is they were greedy for tower plates, and when we were able to come back and engage onto them, and we have an item advantage, and we are basically able to kill the Braum without the help of our jungler, and with the help of our jungler we are able to dive the Jinx and kill her as well. Now they just walk straight back into lane for some reason. Jinx just steps all the way in front of her Braum. I'm just basically autoing her down, and we get another free kill onto her. Now this one, again, the enemy team just trolling there. I'm not sure why Jinx is walking face first at us when she literally just died and whatnot. But yeah, so here we get suddenly 2 quick kills and 1 assist out of nowhere, and we're able to get quite a bunch of item components, and we have, I wouldn't say magically, but we have surprisingly accrued a 1k gold lead over the Jinx. So now we're in a really, what's a very rare Sivir game where you're actually strong early game. Now why are we strong early game? Well, basically because we're 1k gold up on the Jinx, so you know, we can actually just go in on her and kill her now because we're so far ahead. So if she makes another misstep, we can just go in and we can just kill her. Or if Braum just tanks too much damage for no reason, we can just focus him down. Because one of the common mistakes a lot of Braum players like to do is like to put up their shield and just walk forward for no reason, even though there's no real reason to block damage at all. So here, seeing we're playing aggressive, we're going to get a ward here. We spot Rammus actually coming in. Nice interrupt from the Leona. I actually had the spell shield on as well, just in case. And here we're in a 2v3, but you can see so far they're just focusing Leona. I'm actually doing fine. I get exhausted, and Leona is now getting focused down. She flashes over the wall. I'm just focusing the Rammus. I have my full stack ultimate now, but Jinx has gotten the reset and she's running me down. But you can see I'm like kind of out damaging her at the moment, even with the reset. So we're able to bait her long enough for our team to come in and clean up the rest of the fight. So yeah, pretty much it kind of works out overall. So now my next step is to quickly shove in this wave. Of course, not a big problem with Sivir's insane wave clear. And then we can rotate over to the dragon and help our team. It's a pretty long extended sequence. I kind of really need to back to get Bloodthirster, but now another fight is breaking out. So Volibear is chasing down Veigar together with Rammus. Veigar is kind of getting caught. Flash Q for the kill onto the Veigar. Or I should say Q Flash, which is of course a combo I covered in my Sivir guide. So huge 3-man Leona out here. Jinx gets caught, Jinx dies as well. Braum is a little bit too tanky to really chase down, but he is going to flash anyway. So kind of a waste of his flash in my opinion, but yeah, so here unfortunately the Q goes in between the goalposts there, so it doesn't really hit anybody. We ward over the wall, and I'm just attacking Rammus to kind of dissuade him from coming in. He's gonna come in anyway, most likely, but we're gonna put him low so that he basically dies when he comes in, whether he gets the dragon or not. He comes in way too early, and we are able to secure the dragon with the Volibear Smite. So off of that, we can now finally get our reset, and we're now 4-0-4. So you can see, just based on that long extended sequence, you can get our Bloodthirster as well as another additional longsword. So we have a huge lead now, 4-0-4, nothing to scoff at. I mean, if I see a 4-0-4 Sivir, you know, in the early game, you know, I'm quaking in my boots, like you know, this is a really scary situation. So anyways, here we're just gonna quickly clear the wave, so Jinx doesn't even get a plate. Because Sivir just has that insane wave clear. Now here, I'm 2k gold up on Jinx. I know I can easily kill her 1v1. I'm 2k gold up on her, 1 level up on her, but I just need to remove her bone plating. First, actually her bone plating was actually down there. So here I'm just focusing down the minions. Braum is here now, so unfortunately I can't fight them 2v1, so I spell shield and walk away. But the good reason is, the good thing about the situation is that I'm now absorbing the pressure of 2 people, so my team is able to secure the Herald. I'm just being cautious because Braum might be in that bush. So turns out he is not, so I'm just yeah, we see him downstairs, so we know that Braum is not here. Now we're in a 1v1 versus the Jinx. The only thing that is keeping us from killing her is her range. So her range is, you know, her biggest benefit here. So here I Hex Flash in, I'm going all in, not all in, but I'm going in on her. I didn't pop that, I'm not going all in on her, but I go in on her, and you can see we instantly chunk her to half health, so she should be scared of us here. Now we're just going to try to focus the tower, get a little bit more poke on her. Now I'm getting pinged by my team Danger, but I'm not sure who exactly is coming, because I can see Rammus, Braum, and Darius, so maybe Veigar is on a roam or something like that, but we managed to not interrupt the Jinx's back, unfortunately. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to just clear out these minions and then go for the tower. Now Leona is now here to shadow, so I don't really have to be too scared anymore. I'm just going to get the tower and maybe rotate over to the fight that looks like it might happen there. Actually, I'm really close to getting Navori, so I'm actually just going to clear out the Crux here and then reset for Navori maybe. Actually, before we do that, we actually spot a huge play at mid. So here I'm going to pop out for the movement speed. They're super duper overextended, so we're just going to quickly dispatch both the the Braum as well as the Veigar. So yeah, now after that, we can now reset after getting basically another 2 free kills. Now 5-0-5, and we can complete the Navori and additional longsword because of the kills. So at this point, I was kind of thinking like, wow, you know, this game is you know kind of over at this point. I'm 5-0-5. Volley is 4-1-3. Now our Zoe is okay. You guys will see later. Our Zoe is basically not the best player, and Sion is, you know, I'm not sure if he's playing Instinct Sion or what, but he's playing really weird. So, but for now, because we have such a big lead, we haven't really felt the effects of our team yet. But that's all gonna change in a while. Not too much of a spoiler because it's literally gonna happen really soon. But things start to get a little bit hairy. So here I spell shield so I can walk out of the Veigar ulti. Here Zoe gets caught on the tower. Jinx gets caught by Leona and does end up dying. I'm trying to make it to the fight here. So here you can see I'm actually popping my Ricochet. I'm actually just blasting the Braum to bounce onto the rest of them, but it's not very effective. Veigar is taking a ton of damage here. I'm stuck in the cage again. I'm going to flash out so I don't get CC'd by Ram. So you can see here they're all really low. I get exhausted, and Braum is now just auto-attacking me by himself. And yeah, Veigar's like 1 HP. You can't even see his health bar at this point. So volley is going in, disables the tower, but yeah, I can't really reach, so I'm just gonna whack the tower instead. Now Braum lives on 1 HP, the tower is barely alive. Now Jinx decides to try to come fight us 1v2, but I'm not quite sure what she's thinking because I'm just gonna run her down. She ends up dying to volley, I believe. Yep, there we go. And yeah, so here Rammus goes in onto the Zoe. I'm barely doing any damage to Rammus. Zoe just get the sleep, the stun comes in, but yeah, I'm not doing really a lot of damage to Rammus, and that's just from Rammus' innate tankiness. So he has a Wit's End first item, so it's not even like he has a lot of armor or anything like that. So he's just really tanky. So I'm going to have to get my Mole Reminder sooner or later to, of course, deal with the Rammus, but for now I'm going to continue building towards IE, because at the end of the day, even if I can't kill Rammus or Darius or Braum for that matter, I can still bounce to Veigar and to Jinx, and I can kill them as well. So here Darius is getting run down by my team. I initially thought that they wouldn't need my help, so I was actually just clearing the wave. And then I realized that Darius, I failed the Hex Flash over the wall, by the way. Darius is actually just surviving. So here I pop the ult, I'm just going to run him down, and then yeah, we clear the wave, and that's that. So in the meanwhile, our Herald actually picks up the tower for us. I'm just going to counter jungle to deny the enemy team their resources. Rammus is coming in, and I don't think this is very advisable because it's so easy for us to get flanked from this position. So I'm trying to ping my team back, and here is Veigar. Just walking through with the spell shield again. Now Veigar has nowhere to really go, is getting focused down by me, pops the stasis, and Jinx is now in the back line. And now I'm running into a problem, which I'm getting flanked via Jinx, which is kind of ridiculous, but I end up getting flanked by Jinx. She gets a reset on me and is looking to kill Zoe. Isn't quite able to do so, but yeah, I mean, I honestly, I don't know what's going on here. Like, I'm getting killed by a Jinx flank, which is a sentence that I never thought I would say. But yeah, you can see Zoe is missing all of her. So now let's take a look at what Zoe's doing. So here Zoe's 1 HP, Jinx is 1 HP. If I was the Zoe, I would be back in here. So she randomly portals, but Jinx could have rocketed her to kill her. She is not even close to landing any of her spells. Pops the Righteous Glory for no apparent reason. Yeah, so really questionable. I mean, if I was Jinx here, I'd be running toward the Zoe and trying to kill her, not running away. But I guess mistakes from both ends. But yeah, the Zoe is not too good. And there's the kill onto the Zoe with the Jinx rocket. I was trying to help Volley Baron, and I actually steal the entire camp, so I was like, oops. But yeah, so here we're just going to clear the wave. Enemy team picks up the Baron, which is not very surprising considering that you know, pretty much our entire team died. What is surprising is that Jinx decided not to help with the Baron, I guess. So here we do have IE completion, so we are on a 3-item power spike with 12k gold in the game. Now no one is even close to me at this point, so I should be super duper fed. Here Volley is going in, who is the other fed member of our team, and I'm just going in as well. Now I'm in a 1v1 with the Jinx, and I'm realizing that I don't win 1v1 against the Jinx despite the fact that I'm 1 full item ahead of her. Like, she has 2.5 items and I have 3.5 items, but no. Sivir can't 1v1 a champion even when she has 1 item advantage, and the 1 item advantage is like IE. And Jinx even has a Runaan's Hurricane, but apparently Sivir just can't 1v1 another ADC. So yeah, I will admit that I don't play Sivir a whole lot. Sivir is actually one of my least played ADCs because I don't really enjoy playing Sivir all that much. But yeah, we can see Inting Sion in action here. But yeah, yeah, so that's kind of rough. That's kind of a rough one. That we just basically died to the Jinx 1v1 there, more or less 1v1. But yeah. So that's pretty rough, and we do end up comping another death. So now the game, I'm now starting to get worried. I'm like, wait a minute, like, despite the fact that we are so ahead, like, we have a 0-7-0 Sion who's like just playing Inting Sion at this point. We have a Zoe that is essentially non-existent because she can't land any of her spells, so she basically doesn't exist. So we're playing basically 3v5. I'm not going to say that Sion's useless because he is split pushing, he is creating pressure, but he's not very useful in team fights because he's not even there, of course. Whereas on the enemy team, they are just a very strong team fight team. They have a huge front line with Darius, Braum, and Rammus to disrupt, and you know, they have a ADC hyper carry and a mage, so their team fights are scary. And of course, Sivir shines in team fights, but at this point, I have basically only 2 real teammates, which is just the 2 front lines. That might be enough for me to carry, to be honest, but yeah, so a team fight is breaking out. Here, I run into the Jinx traps because I can't see them in the minions, but here I pop the ulti, I'm flashing away, I'm just, you know, just attacking first target, basically, to just bounce to whoever else there is. Here, basically, Zoe kills me because she gives Darius the Ghost Reset, and the Ghost Reset allows Darius to hook me, and I die because of that. And basically, I went from, like what, 5-0 or 6-0 to now 6-3 just in an instant, which is no good because obviously I've given away my shutdown. I just died 3 times in very quick succession, and I'm not on the map to get goal or do anything. And this is where I'm basically panicking at this point. I'm like, oh my goodness, like the enemy team is totally coming back into the game, and they're just wrecking us with their team fighting, and my team can't really do too much about it because of just the way that my team is structured. So I'm starting to think that, you know, we have to really play this very, very carefully. At first I was like, you know, really fed, so I was like just trying to have fun. But now I'm like, oh, we need to really, really play very seriously. We can't afford to die or you know, have those for fun plays. We have to play very, very, you know, cold and calculated, and, you know, not for fun. So here, you know, I'm just going to stay safe and see when I can have a chance to DPS. The Zoe bubble goes to nowhere, and somehow Braum walks into the Zoe bubble for fun, I guess. Doesn't really matter though. Enemy team picks up the dragon, but no dragon soul because we got the first dragon. I believe. Now here Braum just walks up for no reason, to be very honest, but I'm not going to attack him because that will slow me down and someone else might catch up, so I'm not going to do that. So instead I'm just going to quickly clear out the wave, and Sion actually kills the Jinx, who I believe was trying to stop him from split pushing, and does end up kind of ruining his inting Sion strategy, but he does remove Jinx from the map, which is pretty huge. Baron is of course up, so Jinx for Sion trade is amazing here, because now basically their main DPS now is like Veigar, and because the rest of them are basically tanks. Of course Darius could be a problem, I mean is a problem as well, he is really fit. But here you can see, without Jinx in the fight, I can basically just like DPS here without very much threat, because Veigar can't really hit me very easily, whereas Jinx could. So here I'm just going to run down the enemy team, run down the Braum and the Darius, and then we can now just do the Baron. Now of course Rammus is alive, so there is a risk of Rammus coming in to steal, but we have basically everyone alive other than Sion, so we should be able to stop Rammus from coming in. Rammus is on the way. Ends up coming in a little bit too late, and now with my ricochets again, I'm just killing them all at this point. Now Braum is on the run, gets stunned and dies. Sion is back and is clearing the mid wave. I'm going to quickly reset because I can get my Mole Reminder and QSS, which are two very big purchases. I'm deciding to go Black Cleaver in this match because Rammus and Braum are building armor, and they are really tanky. Darius is not really building armor, so Bork would be more useful against Darius, but you know, I had to choose one of the two, and I'm doing it quickly so I can quickly rotate over to Elder Dragon to secure that. So warding over the wall maybe? Or do I not have a ward? Anyway, we secure the Elder Dragon, and we now have the Baron and Elder combo, which of course is the game ending kind of combo. You want to be looking for the game end if you have like both Baron and Elder, obviously. And here we're clearing out the next wave as well. And I mean, Zoe is kind of useless, so I'm just going to take the blue buff for myself. I'm not the biggest mana user, but I do use mana, you know, a little bit. I have run out of mana in this particular game a number of times. Anyway, we're waiting for my team. Now it's really good if Sion could actually do that split pushing now, so that, you know, we actually can create pressure. I don't know, yeah, he's just walking bot, so it's good to just wait a little bit. I am just attacking Braum outside of tower range to just build up my lethal tempo. Braum ulti comes in, I pop the spell shield, but I don't actually end up getting hit by it. Volley goes in, disables the tower. I'm just going to remove the tower completely. I pop my ulti to chase them down. Volley is pretty much just running all of them down. I'm tanking the tower for some reasons. I'm going to have to quickly run to the weird spot in between. Somehow my Elder actually gets the kill on Veigar. Maybe it must be from one of the ricochets, but Volley dies to the tower, and Darius is the last one standing, only for a second. And from that, we end up actually ending the game. So I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.
Victory!